Hi, my name is Erin Tharp. I'm a senior at USC, and I was a part of the RU program through the NSF last summer, and I just wanted to say thank you for everyone to be here in this virtual space to listen to my poster presentation. So over the summer, I had the opportunity of creating my own research project, and for that, I chose to study the population and habitat preference of the Warty sea cucumber within a marine protected area, which I chose as Big Fisherman's Cove at the Wrigley Institute on Catalina Island. And I really wanted to study the sea cucumber because it's a very understudied species. It's some organism that we don't really know much about, but it's also a species that is under kind of a threat right now, as it is a delicacy and a huge market in Asia. And one of the issues with this is that it is being so overfished that fishermen are trying to go around their permits by slicing the sea cucumbers open and draining them of their water to try to accumulate more for their same permit size. So it's making it really difficult to have a clear understanding of how many sea cucumbers are out there right now. So I thought it'd be a good idea to try to, within a marine protected area, see how that species is doing and also understand kind of the preference of their habitat, just so we know more about the species in general. So for my research this summer, I looked at 3 different areas around Big Fisherman's Cove, the northeast and the southwest walls, and then also the middle of the cove. And I laid transects in those 3 areas at 3 different depths. So I laid transects at 25 feet, 35 feet, and 40 feet. And when I did this, I wanted to see kind of the amount of sea cucumbers on each transect, and then also look at the substrate type. So I wanted to see if the sea cucumbers were residing on a rocky substrate or a sandy substrate, just to see if there was a preference there. And along with running transects, I also wanted to examine light, water flow, and temperature. So I put data loggers out at 3 of my sites and also at all of the depths. And I also put water flow meters, which were made out of plaster of Paris. And I did this to look at the amount of water flow that was happening at the 3 different locations and the 3 different depths to try to see if there was a difference and maybe a reason why we found sea cucumbers in one area versus another. And so with doing all of that research, I found that there was more sea cucumbers on the northeast and the southwest walls of the cove, which made sense with my next point that they also liked rocky substrate. So obviously we were seeing more on the walls since they were rocky versus the middle of the cove. And next, we found the majority of the sea cucumbers at 35 and 40 feet, which makes sense because we also found that they liked colder temperatures. So we would see them at deeper depths. And lastly, we found that the majority of the sea cucumbers were found at darker areas, such as the 35 and 40 feet of the northeast and the southwest walls, since they were shaded by the rocks, and also at deeper, colder depths. So that was the majority of what I studied, but we are still doing more research as I have continued my project this semester at USC as a directed research, where I have 2 other students also working with me. And we are trying to look at but we're trying to see that now that we have all of this data from the summer, if what's happening to the sea cucumbers now in the fall, winter, and spring seasons. And so far, we've actually found that there's been a lot less sea cucumbers now in the fall than there was in the summer. So that's a research question that we are currently working on. So thank you guys so much for listening to my talk, and I'm happy to answer any questions through email or Zoom or whatever. So have a great rest of your day.